What's up, everybody? It's your boy Beastbox back here in another video. And today we're going to be looking at the top 10 NBA players of all time. Now, this video is completely my opinion. If you have your own opinion, that's good. Just keep that to yourself and don't hate on me. This video will go off of career stats, such as points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game. It'll also go off of career accolades, such as all-star appearances, championships, and let's say how much they got carried. And now, let's get into the video. So, at number 10, we have arguably the most dominant big man of his era and the most dominant big man of all time. We have Shaq, or rather known as Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq had 23 points over his career, if I'm not wrong, around 11 rebounds, and around 3 assists. Shaq was never known for his passing, but at the same time, no center was ever known for his passing, except maybe Nikola Jokic from today's era. Shaq only won one MVP, which was from the 1999 to the 2000 season. You ask me, Shaq should have won more than just his lone MVP, but let's be honest, his lone MVP was the most dominant season of his career. About 30 points a game, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Those are unheard of center numbers. And he also won 4 championships, 3 of them alongside Kobe Bryant, who we'll see later on this list, and 1 of them with D Wade on the Miami Heat towards the latter parts of his career. Now, Shaq was a great player. Let's get on to it. Number 9, we have Kobe Bryant at number 9 on this list. Now, many people think Kobe Bryant may be higher, but many people also think he should be lower on the top 10 players of all time list. Kobe Bryant was always known for his flashy moves. He was always known for dropping people and always known for his dunking ability. Kobe was also a pretty good shooter, but he lost his shooting touch towards the end of his career, as you'll see if you look it up. Kobe Bryant changed the game forever for his ability to dunk and shoot. Now, as I said before, Kobe Bryant won 3 MVPs with 3 championships, with Shaq, but he also won 2 with Pau Gasol later on in his career, making 5 championships. Kobe also won 1 MVP, but should have won much more than 1. Kobe's lone MVP was arguably the most dominant part of his career. He scored 33,000 points, around 7,000 rebounds, and around 7,000 assists. He was always known for stuffing the shot sheet and was a great player. Now at number 8, we have the big fundamental, Timmy D, or Timmy Duncan. Now, Tim Duncan, or as I like to call him, Timmy Duncan, was always known as not being the most flashy player or never making big highlight plays. But what he was good at was being consistent, winning championships, and scoring and doing everything he could to stuff the stat sheet. Tim Duncan finished his career at 26,000 points, over 12,000 rebounds, and around 6,000 assists. He was never known for his passing, but let's be honest, he was actually a really good passer for being a power forward. Tim Duncan is arguably the greatest power forward of all time, behind maybe a few people that you may see later on this list. Tim Duncan also won 5 MVPs. I'm just kidding. He won 2 MVPs. Imagine winning 5 of them. But he did win 5 championships along with Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili by his side. His 2 MVPs were maybe not the most dominant part of his career. Number 7, we have Larry Bird. Now, Larry Bird was always known for his great shooting touch, but what never gets talked about is his rebounding skills. Larry averaged about 10 rebounds per game and had around 13,000 rebounds in his career. Larry Bird finished his career 21,000 points, 13,000 rebounds as we just talked about, and around 7,000 assists. Now, Larry Bird was always known for stuffing the stat sheet, and he also won many championships, 3 to be exact. He also won 3 MVPs, and his championships came alongside Kevin McHale and Bob Pettit, along with Elgin Wright. He also lost to Magic Johnson a few times. And you ask me, Larry Bird loses to Magic Johnson in the Magic versus Larry debate, and you'll see that later on in this video. Larry Bird was a great player and arguably the greatest player of his time. Now, moving on, we have the great Wilt. Now, moving on, we have the great Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain was a great player, as I've just said, and I've just repeated myself. So what am I doing? But let's be honest, Wilt Chamberlain was arguably the greatest rebounder of all time, and arguably the greatest scorer of all time. He averaged 30.1 points a game, or about 30 points per game over his career, and 22 rebounds a game. 22 rebounds a game is the same number of points per game Dwayne Wade averaged over his career. That is insane. He also averaged 4 assists per game, which was unheard of in his era, which was the 60s to about the 80s. Will also had a few MVPs and won about 2 to 3 championships over his career. The latter part of his career in the Lakers is where he won one championship alongside Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. Now, Wilt Chamberlain had that infamous 100-point game and will always be known for stuffing the stat sheet with many amazing performances. Now, number 5, we have Magic Johnson. Now, Magic Johnson is arguably the greatest passer of all time, and that'll show if you look at his stats. Magic averaged a career high and an all-time high 11.2 assists over his career. He also averaged about 20 points a game and about 6 rebounds a game, which was absolutely unheard of. He stuffed the stat sheet every single night, and if it weren't for his disease, he would have probably been one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest. Magic does win in the Magic versus Bird debate because of his more championships and the same number of MVPs. Magic won 3 MVPs as a Laker and 5 championships as a Laker. He had about 20,000 points over his career, about 11,000 rebounds, and about 10,000 assists, which is amazing for a player of his caliber. Now, moving on, we have number 4, which is, as I said before, Dr. J, or Air Doctor, Julius Erving. Now, many people might disagree with me having Julius Erving at number 4, but if you ask me, Julius Erving was arguably one of the greatest players of his era. In 12 years, he already had 30,000 points. Now, that's unheard of nowadays. Nobody's scoring 30,000 points in only 12 years of playtime. He also had over 10,000 rebounds and 7,000 assists. Those are GOAT stats in such a short career. He also won 4 MVPs, making him have more MVPs than somebody like Larry Bird, which is why we've ranked him higher. He also won 3 championships as a member of the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Dr. J can also not be mentioned without mentioning his dunking skills. He's arguably the greatest dunker of all time, and as I've shown on his list, one of the greatest players of all time. Now, moving on, we have the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, many people might have him at number 2, and some people might even have him at number 1. But this straight out skill of those top 2 people, you can't beat it. Kareem can't beat that. But Kareem, that's not disregarding Kareem. Kareem was a great player. He has the most points ever scored by a player in a career with 38,000, almost 39,000. He also has the most MVPs of any active player or any retired player with 6 MVPs, which is, as I said before, a record that will probably never be broken. He also had 6 championships as a member of the Bucks and the Lakers, winning most of them with the Lakers. He also won some of them with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West by his side. His career averages are 24, 11, and 4. He is arguably the greatest player of all time, and in my opinion, one of the greatest players ever at stuffing the stat sheet. Now, moving on, we have LeBron James at number 2. Now, some people may say LeBron's number 1, but I don't think he beats out number 1. But LeBron definitely deserves number 2. LeBron, even at 35 years of age, is averaging 25, 7, and 7. In just last year, he averaged 10 assists, which is the first time he ever did it in his career. LeBron won many MVPs, 4 of them to be exact, and 4 championships now after winning against the Heat. LeBron isn't ranked number 1 due to his losing record in the finals, and the number 1 player has never lost a finals appearance ever. He's won all of them. Now, LeBron James, that's not disregarding LeBron James. LeBron James is 3rd all-time in scoring with 34,000 points, has over 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. He is the rare 30K, 10K, and 10K. LeBron is arguably one of the greatest players of all time, and arguably the GOAT. Now, at number 1, I mean, you couldn't have really expected much else. We have the GOAT of the sport, MJ, or as I call him, Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan was a great scorer, a great dunker, not a great shooter actually, but almost a great shooter. He was a great defender too. He was a great leader. He was great at winning championships. He was great at going to the All-Star game. He was great at winning almost everything. He was great at being imposing. There's nothing he wasn't good at. Michael Jordan finished his career with 32,000 points, around 8,000 rebounds, and around 7,000 assists. Now you might be saying, well, LeBron had more numbers, yeah, but where Michael Jordan is in front of LeBron is he had 5 MVPs next to LeBron's 4, and he also had 6 championships next to LeBron's 4. So now Michael Jordan has more accolades than LeBron James, and if you ask me, he's the greatest of all time.